Hello, and welcome to the level guide for R5C3. Let's get started by talking about loadouts. This level has a fair amount of hybrids in it, so you want to be able to kill them relatively quickly, and the sniper rifle is a very good weapon for doing that as it can kill them near instantaneously. If you're doing the extreme objective, the extraction part is actually going to be the hardest part of the level, and there's going to be lots and lots of enemies during it, so you're going to want to bring something like the combat shotgun or the machine gun to very quickly deal with the waves. The combat shotgun really cannot be stressed enough how good it is for this level. It serves a dual purpose of being able to kill big guys pretty good, and also being able to deal with waves of enemies very efficiently. For tools, I recommend that you bring the bio tracker, the seafoam launcher, the mine deployer, and a sniper sentry. The gimmick to this level is that you get almost no ammo, but you get a ton of tools. If you wake up rooms, you want to melee them instead of shooting them, and make sure you're using your tool on your alarms. Starting off in Zone 371, you'll see that your main objective is to make your way to Zone 377 and complete both the terminal uplinks. There are some changes to these uplinks which will be discussed more when we get to the actual uplinks. Inside of Zone 371 itself, you'll be able to find 2 uses of medkits and 5 uses of tool refill kits. Not a lot to say about this zone, just make your way to the back of it and do your team scan to Zone 372. Zone 372 will have 2 different alarm doors in it. One leads to 373, which is your resource room, and another leads to 374, which is going to be the continuation of the level. 372 has 2 uses of medkits, 2 uses of ammo kits, and 5 uses of tool refill kits. The alarm to 373 will be a class 3 cluster with the floor plan looking like this. The enemies will spawn here, here, and here, and they will break down these 2 doors to get into the room. You also need to make sure that these 2 doors are saved because you're going to need them for the 374 alarm. Seafoam and mine both the doors that lead into the room because you get a ton of tool on this map. Whenever ready, go ahead and pull the alarm door, complete the scans, and head on into Zone 373. Inside of Zone 373, you'll be able to find 4 uses of medkits, 4 uses of ammo kits, and 4 uses of tool refill kits. It also has 2 scouts inside of it, and every single enemy is going to be a big enemy. Try your best to sneak around this zone, only kill things if you need to or if your team is very comfortable in doing so. Outside of that, the only thing you really need from this zone is the ammo pack, so if you don't care about the rest of the resources, you can just grab the ammo and get out. Once you've gotten everything you want from this zone, go back over to Zone 372 and get ready to do your alarm door to Zone 374. The alarm door to Zone 374 will be a class 5 alarm, and your floor plan will look like this. The enemies will spawn here, here, and here, and they will break down this door to get into the room. Very rarely, a small handful of enemies will be beating on the other door, but all you have to do is put a sniper sentry down facing that door, and it'll kill anything that's beating on it. You don't need to seafoam this door because of this. Seafoam and mine the door that the majority of the enemies are going to be beating on, then pull the alarm door, and have your player with your seafoam run over to that bottom door and keep it closed for the entire length of the alarm. Once you kill off all the remaining enemies, head on into Zone 374. Inside of Zone 374, you'll always be able to find 1 scout. You'll also be able to find 2 uses of medkits, 2 uses of ammo kits, and 6 uses of tool refill kits. There's also going to be a handful of big enemies, as well as your alarm door for Zone 375. Your alarm door to Zone 375 is going to be a class 5 alarm with every scan being a team scan. The enemies will be able to spawn here and here, and you want to seafoam and mine these 3 doors. Put a sentry gun behind this top door in order to shoot any of the enemies that are beating on it, and try your best to keep it seafoam from across the room. When you're ready, pull the door, do the scans, finish the alarm, and head on into Zone 375. Inside of Zone 375, you'll always find 2 scouts. There will also be a few handfuls of big enemies, and for resources, you'll be able to find 2 uses of medkits and 6 uses of tool refill kits. There's also going to be your alarm door to Zone 376. It's going to look like this, and is going to be a class 6 S1 alarm. The enemies will be able to spawn here, here, and here, and they'll break down these 2 doors to get into your room. If you have good scans, you can try and seafoam the doors from across the room. Otherwise, I would just leave them and let them break. Regardless, complete the scans, kill off all the remaining enemies, and head on into Zone 376. Inside of Zone 376, there will always be 1 Charger Scout, and for resources, you'll be able to find 2 uses of medkits and 6 uses of turret refill kits. For the Charger Scout, I would just Seafoam it and hammer it to death. You have enough tool, and you have the Seafoam launcher anyway, so there's no reason not to. Your alarm door to Zone 377 is going to be a Class 7 mixed alarm. This is the floor plan. The enemies will be able to spawn here, and they will break down these 2 doors and then these 2 doors to get into your room, so you should Seafoam and mine all 4 of them. You should also place your sentry facing towards this door in order to shoot enemies that are banging on it from behind, and the Seafoam player should do his best to try and keep both the doors closed during this alarm. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and pull the alarm door and do the scans. This mixed alarm is going to be 3 S1 scans, then 2 big red circle scans, and then 2 cluster scans. Once you kill off all the remaining enemies, head on into Zone 377. Inside of Zone 377, you'll find your terminal uplinks. For resources, you'll be able to find 6 uses of medkits, 13 uses of ammo kits, and 4 uses of tool refill kits. There are 4 terminals in this zone, and one of them is going to be locked by a password. You will find this password behind the security door to Zone 378 in the back of the room, but you don't want to go into this zone yet because it's going to make the first uplink harder if you open this door already. You're going to get your last tool refill for a little bit in this zone, so you need to make sure your Seafoam has at least 30 blobs and your mines have at least 3 uses. You don't want to give any more to them if they already have this number. The rest should go to the sentry gun. So let's finally get started with talking about how these uplinks are going to work, because they are very different from every other uplink that's been in the game up until this point. These are going to be dual terminal uplinks, meaning that it will be a set of paired terminals. The first terminal in the pair is what you're going to put your IP address into to start the uplink. Once you put in this IP address, it's going to say you need to go to the second terminal and put in uplink_confirm in order to actually begin the uplink process. Once the uplink begins, it is going to continuously spawn enemies, and it is also going to give the person on the first terminal the first section of the verification code. This is the part that says X07 or Y04, etc. The person on the second terminal is also at this time going to receive a log file that has a series of these verification codes and words in them. They are going to need to find the word that is directly next to the verification code that the person on the first terminal said, and they will need to relay this word back to the person on the first terminal. Once the person on the first terminal has received the correct word, it's the exact same thing as it normally is. You type in uplink_verify and then the word, and it will continue on with the uplink. This is a Class 3 uplink, so you only have to do this 3 times in total, which isn't actually all that bad. I know that's a lot to take in at once, so here's a visual aid to try and help with that. I type in read uplink codes_01.log in order to actually read the log file, and then in this scenario, the person said on the first terminal that their code was Z08. I can see that the word next to that is safe, so I tell them the word is safe, and then they put in uplink_verify safe and move on with the rest of the uplink. One final thing to note is that after each successful verification, you are going to get a new log file, so anything that was left over from the previous log files can safely be ignored. Lastly, because sentries don't have a full 180-degree turn radius, placing it in the doorway or facing the door isn't a wise decision because it won't be firing nearly as often as we would like it to. So I suggest placing your sentry off to the side of the room, kind of where I am standing now, to try and have it cover as much of the room as possible while still being able to shoot hybrids in the back. Once you're all ready, go ahead and type in uplink_confirm and begin the uplink. Once you finish the first terminal uplink, you're going to head into Zone 378 so you can grab the log file so you can do the second terminal uplink. In this zone, you'll be able to find 6 uses of medkits and 4 uses of ammo kits. There are also going to be 3 doors that you're going to need to Seafoam and mine once you leave to make sure if any enemies spawn from this direction during the second uplink, it's going to make it much easier to deal with them. Once you've gotten all your resources, unlock the terminal and Seafoam and mine the doors. Go ahead and start your next uplink. Once you finish this next uplink, it is going to turn on an error alarm for the rest of the level. This error alarm is going to spawn 5 enemies every 45 seconds, and then there is a high chance that one of these enemies will spawn as a hybrid. If you are not doing the extreme objective, head back on over to Zone 371 to do your extraction. Everybody else, come with me to Zone 375 so we can start our extreme objective. Your bulkhead door to Zone 415 has no scan or anything required to open it. And when you step inside, you'll see that your extreme objective is to locate the data sphere and bring it to the end frame that is located in zone 419. Inside of zone 415, you'll be able to find 6 uses of medkits, 4 uses of ammo kits, and 4 uses of a 2 refill kit. You'll also be able to find the data sphere that you need for your extreme objective. There are also going to be lots of hybrids throughout the extreme zones itself, so make sure that your sniper rifle has enough ammo to deal with those. There's nothing else to say about this zone, so head on over to the back to do your team scan to zone 416. Make sure that you have the data sphere before you go, and whenever you're ready, head on into the zone. Inside zone 416, you'll be able to find 2 uses of medkits, 2 uses of ammo kits, and 2 uses of 2 refill kits. There's also going to be 3 security doors, one leading to zone 419, which is locked by a keycard, and then 2 doors leading to zone 417 and 418. There is going to be a keycard behind one of those 2 zones, and you're going to need that keycard in order to get into zone 419, which has the end frame in it. Have someone hop on the terminal, find out where the key is, and head on over to the zone that has the key. Do the team scan, and head on into the zone. Zones 417 and 418 will have 2 uses of medkits, 2 uses of ammo kits, and 2 uses of 2 refill kits. They'll also have the key card that you need, so grab the key and get out. Once you get the key, go back to zone 416 and do your scan to the security door to zone 419. Zone 419 will have 3 uses of medkits, 7 uses of ammo kits, and 2 uses of 2 refill kits. Make sure that you do not put the data sphere into the end frame until everybody on your team is ready. Once you put this thing in, it is going to turn off all the lights on the level, and it is going to turn your air alarm from being 5 enemies into full-on alarm waves, much like how it is on B4. Once you grab it out of the end frame, you just need to make a mad dash to extraction. Whoever has the data sphere needs to not stop moving no matter what unless they absolutely have to. They need to just keep going all the way through the level as fast as they can. Close any doors behind them and C-foam and mine them if the wave spawns there, and if the wave spawns in front of you, it's just bad RNG and you're just going to have to shoot it and hope. If there are doors left in front of you, you can try and close and mine the door and it will kill a large majority of the wave, but for the most part, you're going to just have to shoot them if they spawn in front of you. You do have the entire length of the level to run, so I hope you've memorized the level layout at this point, because if you get lost, it's probably going to cause a wipe. Once you get back to the very start of the level, you can begin your extraction scan. This is going to take 100 seconds to complete this extraction scan. If you're only doing the main objective, this isn't super terrible, but if you're doing extreme, the only thing you can do is hope that you have enough ammo to complete it. Stay in the scan and kill everything that comes to you, and you will have finally beaten R5C3. Due to the nature of RNG, enemy and resource numbers may be off by plus or minus 1, but for the most part they should be what I show here. Outside of that, that's really all I've got. Leave a comment if you think I missed something, and you guys have fun.